Hello guys, my name is Nadine, I'm from Germany, and I would like to share some dreams the Lord has given to me over the last couple of years. Maybe I start at the beginning. So in 2018 the Lord spoke to me that I should start reading Revelations. I was always very interested in that book of the Bible because, it was very exciting and lots of symbolism, which I love. And so I started doing that. And I've always been a dreamer. I feel like, who was it in the Bible? Joseph, I think, yeah. And because sometimes the German and the English names for people in the Bible are different, so I need to concentrate. It was Joseph, and I was dreaming a lot, like things the Lord warned me about in my life, things the Lord just wanted to know me. Even when I was watching a weird movie, I was dreaming about, like almost every night I'm dreaming something. And I feel like when it's a dream from the Lord, 99% of the time you can tell, because it just stays with you. It stays with your mind, with your soul, with your heart, and you think about it all the time. I tend to also not forget my dreams. Doesn't matter what I dream, but which is sometimes good and sometimes bad. But I also started writing down the spiritual dreams I had because, sometimes I forgot them and I didn't want to. I usually don't forget dreams, but these important dreams sometimes yes, and so I started writing them down. My first, I call it big rapture dream because I had many small ones in between, was, I think it was 2019, could have been 2018, not quite sure. I was laying down on the ground. Next to me was a very close relative, and there was a bus station behind us. The sky was very gray. I think it was full of smoke, dark gray, light gray, and lots of orange and red. It looked a bit like these Armageddon movies. And I think there were also some broken buildings in the far distance. And in the bus stop, there was in a corner a dark figure. I suppose it was a demon. And something interesting in the sky, I could see 4 planets that were in a row behind each other, and they were almost looking identical, a little bit different, but not much. And I'll show you a picture. I draw one a couple of weeks ago, so I am gonna put it in the video. So these planets were they were huge actually, like very big. Then the next second I was in the clouds, like literally in the clouds. It was blue around me and a lot of clouds under me and next to me, behind me. And I didn't see an angel, but I could feel him holding me. And also I could hear his breathing. It was very a heavy metallic breathing. And I've heard from other people who also had dreams or visions that angels sound a lot of times very metallic. And the funny thing is, a couple years ago, there were weird sounds in the clouds in different areas in the world, even in Jerusalem. And we also had them in Germany, especially when it was rainy or cloudy. There were so weird metallic sounds in the sky, like it was a war, and there were like this, I don't know how to say it, fights, a lot of fights, and you could hear the metal, one sword and another sword, and you could hear the metal of the swords, sorry. And it was so weird and very eerie feeling, and it happened for a whole year, about a year. And I also recorded some of these things, but because of the heavy rain, you can almost not hear anything. And a lot of people could hear these things, trumpets in the sky, stuff like that. And the angel sounded also very metallic when he was breathing. So weird. I don't know why, but it was just like that. And I could feel him holding me, even though it wasn't like touching my skin, but it was more like a heavy weight around me. So I felt very safe and secure. And in another second, I was in the heaven with God. I couldn't see anything at that time. It was just black and the Lord in front of me. And he was telling me some things, personal things about my family and so on. And then I woke up crying very heavily, which I usually don't. I think once when I was a child and my grandpa died, and then I dreamt about him and I woke up crying. But otherwise, that's not typical me. And it was more like, I was very moved from what God showed me in the dream. Then I got a second big rapture dream on the 22nd of November 2022, which is also a very special number, 11 and 22. And that was a dream I also felt I should share for the first time, like put out there on YouTube. So I wrote Amber from Cloud9 Blessings, and she made a video, very sweet of her, and with very good graphics. Like it looked almost exactly like in my dream. I don't know, the Lord blessed her, really. It's amazing how she could see these things, even though I just wrote a letter to her or an email. It was not where I'm living now, the dream, but in the city, in the little town next to me where I was living until 2 to 3 years ago. And I was taking a walk. I think it was nighttime because there was a moon and it was dark. I was walking on the fields and there were trees and the leaves were already gone, like not a little bit falling or something like that. No, they were totally gone. The grass was still green and there was a little bit of dew on the grass, so it was obviously cold. And then I could see a mushroom, very specific picture of a mushroom who was sitting there in the grass. And so I reckon it's an autumn time, and I looked it up. This year until the 21st of December, it is still considered autumn. So just notice. I was walking there and then I looked up to the moon. It wasn't a sliver, it wasn't a full moon, it was something in between. And there was an orange circle around the moon, and it was getting bigger and bigger, and then it was turning into a huge clock, like huge, full. It filled the whole picture I was seeing. It was bluish clock and like a very old clock with these Roman numbers on it. And in the middle of the clock I could see Jesus with a lamp on his arms. And then it switched and I could see the devil. And then it switched again to Jesus and the lamp on his arms. And that happened many, many times. And then I could hear someone counting down from 12 to, I'm not sure if it was 1 or 0, but I think it was 0. 12, 11, 10, 9 to 0. Also a couple of times. Very sturdy, very firm, counted down. It was a male voice. And suddenly everything stopped. It was just silence. And I waited, and me and my friend, we were waiting. And then we saw bluish light beams going up from the earth or the grass to the sky, like that's the sound it made. And I was staring at them, and I was like, oh, that must be the dead in Christ, or I thought that after I woke up, but now I know it. But I thought, oh, people were going up. I want to go up too. When it's my turn? When is it my turn? And I was so excited. And then this time I saw an angel standing in front of me. Not every little detail, but a very light person with wings. And he was grabbing me by my waist and just shooting up with me. It was like a split second. I could only think, oh, I know that part. I have dreamt it before, like in 2019. And having that thought, I was already in the clouds. And this time the clouds were pink and orange and very light purple. There were people in a distance of me. They were chattering. It was a very warm and cozy feeling. And the angel dropped me on the clouds, very soft. And I was like hugging the clouds. It was like a little bed, and I felt amazing. And then there was a part I'm not going to share yet because I don't understand it, and I'm not quite sure if it was personal for me or what it means. I still don't know it. Everything else is pretty clear. And looking at that dream, I always thought the Lord is going to come and take us in the autumn. In the fall, yeah. I was watching all the years, and I was hoping and reading and praying, and always thought in the back of my mind, I think it's gonna be the fall, yeah. But I also had dreams where I was on vacation, so I'm gonna share them, later on. Yeah, that was it for today. These were my huge 2 rapture dreams. Every rapture dream is amazing, and I'm very thankful for them because, it's a hope that God has given us in these last days, which are not very easy for a lot of Christians on this earth. And I hope it encourages you as well as people encourage me, and through channels like Uptime or Cloud9 Blessings, or even private channels, people who put up their dreams. Yeah, so that's it for today, and I hope I'm gonna see you guys soon.